Oh, there's some dunes having issues immediately. This video is brought to you by my new way of including messages before a video. A maximum of 20 seconds long, these messages will mostly be used as a way for me to highlight things surrounding my channel such as other videos, social media, websites, etc. And as always, you'll never see a mid-roll ad interrupting any of my videos. Hopefully this is okay with you all, and thank you for the continued support. Oh, I got a bit of a bad start. Alright, away we go. Brockby's favourite cars, again. There was a long hold at the start on the lights, and then we had to wait for the harmonic to keep it clean. Starting in the Omnus because it is my all-time favourite car. But there are 25 laps, 25 cars, taken from a list of basically what are my favourite cars across Vanilla GTA and Project Homecoming. Don't worry about what's on Locke's roof, don't worry about it, it's fine. But yeah, it's been... The last time I did a favourite cars video was 2015, and I gave my top 5 favourite cars. It's been a long time and I've just never gotten around to doing another video. Mainly because there's just so many cars that I actually like these days. That and I can't really, like, after the Omnus, which is definitely number 1, it's just so difficult to, like, rank them after that. So... Oh, there's some dunes having issues immediately. Oh, yeah, keep going, why don't you? Oh, there's a slam band. So, 25 laps, 25 of my favourite cars. I'm not going to say that there aren't any that I've missed, or there's lots of cars that I like. We just tried to pick the ones that... I mean, I needed the chat's help, honestly, because my brain didn't quite allow me to access all of the cars that I like. But the Infernus is one that stood the test of time. I don't think I would put it in my top 5 anymore. It was in my top 5, original top 5 list. But it's still up there. It's still one of my favourites. Still a great car. And yeah, I would say, unless there's some that I've missed, and apart from like some Project Homecoming specific stuff, these are my top 25 favourite cars. Pariah. I do love the Pariah. There are some Project Homecoming specific ones, but in general, I like the vanilla versions of them. For example, the faster Penumbra, or the Monroe Custom or something. I do like the vanilla Monroe, but why not have the Project Homecoming better versions when we can? Yeah, Pariah with the Ron livery is beautiful. There we go, up into 3rd. 2nd, actually. 2nd for life. And obviously it's a random select, so we're going to get all the cars by the end and it'll all come together and all that good stuff. Everyone gets every single car by the end, it's just in a random order. So it all works out proper depending on how well you've driven. Penumbra! I couldn't not include the faster Penumbra. I think I do like the regular Penumbra on vanilla, but I probably, I wouldn't put it in my... If I was going to make a list of my favourite cars in the game for vanilla only, I probably wouldn't put the Penumbra in it. But it's one of those cars that I do like. And the faster Penumbra on Project Homecoming is great as well. The Penumbra, I won a MCEC race in the Penumbra, so there's a lot of cars like that as well, like, the Vigero and things like that. Cars that I've done well in multi-class endurance championship races, or just in general that I like. But again, it's so difficult trying to narrow down favourite cars. So yeah, for everyone who's been asking me for a favourite cars list, or anyone in the future who asks me one of my favourite cars in GTA, Omnis, and then this video. This is the video. The Pariah is definitely in the top 10. Piss Was a Dominator. Piss Was a Dominator used to be my number one. The Omnis was in second for a short period of time, but the Omnis won me over. Piss Was a Dominator is definitely still in the top 10. I'll try to give an indication of the cars that I would put in the top 10 of my vanilla GTA list. I might end up saying more than 10 cars, but you know, that's the nature of this sort of thing. If I was going to make a specific video, I'd have to narrow it down. But I'll say which cars I would probably have in my top 10 for a vanilla GTA list. So far we've had the Pariah, the Omnis, and then this. Piss Was a Dominator was just such an amazing car when we finally got access to it. Such a beautiful car to handle and so challenging. On one of my tracks as well, it kind of makes sense to, if I'm going to do all my favourite cars, it makes sense to have it on one of my tracks, Blaine County 24 Hours Short. It's a good one. Rapid GT. This wouldn't be on my vanilla GTA list, but the faster Rapid GT on Project Homecoming absolutely is. This was the first time where I realised how amazing Project Homecoming and the modding community could be to make a Rapid GT that handles so nicely and is so much quicker than the vanilla version. It is so much nicer to drive than the vanilla car. And still holds up as a hell of a lot of fun. I guess I can try to use this race to try and nail down, like I said, my top 10. And then maybe a general order of that. No, I'm not going to do ordering, apart from the Omnis at the top. I'll just try to nail down my top 10 vanilla GTA cars. Which might be easier said than I thought, because there are quite a few Project Homecoming specifics. Trophy Truck! I feel like the Trophy Truck's one that would be just outside of the top 10. The Trophy Truck probably gets in the top 10 if I don't say 10. Like if I've said 9 cars by the end, the Trophy Truck will be the 10th, I would imagine. Great car. Great fun to drive. And take a few liberties on the dirt around here. Much better than the Desert Raid, in my opinion. Those two were released together. They pretty much perform the same, but... And I never base my favourite cars on looks either. Sometimes people ask me what my favourite, best, I think the best looking car is. It's just never entered my brain to think about it like that. Apart from some of the wide body cars that come out, and that Coquette D10 wide body from the 8th Gear server. That's a nice one. But yeah, looks don't matter to me when it comes to GTA cars. It's all about how they handle and how they drive. It's what it's all about. It's why the Omnis is number 1. Torero XO, this would definitely be in my top 10. What a machine this is. Incredible brand new car. They knocked it out of the park with this. Especially after the car v car race that we did with this. Oh, we got demon dragged. We got demon dragged. Oh. I thought I was cleanly up the inside there, but he kept turning, and then we got demon dragged. A little bit impatient to get ahead, I suppose. I've paid the price. Bad lap, to be fair. Could have been a much faster lap, that one. But yeah, the Torero XO is a great car. One of the best new cars that Rockstar have added in a long time. All power. Not an awful lot of grip in comparison to other supercars. Turismo Classic. I've always really enjoyed the Turismo Classic, the way that it handles. The HSW makes it a lot of fun as well. Probably not in my top 5, I would say, but certainly in my top 10. It's a great car. The only reason I went for that dive on the slam van is because I knew the slam van would take a long time to brake. So I thought I might as well go for that. Up in a second again. I'd be happy if I wouldn't mind trying to get a top 5. Having a good random select race would be nice for a change. Frankensteiner, what a machine. This is the best sounding car in the game. It's really fun to drive as well. Again, this might be one of those that's similar to the trophy truck, that's like, it would be in the top 10 if I've got space. If I was really thinking about it and trying to sort them out. But I'm just going to shut up for this lap, honestly. Just listen to the engine. It's incredible. Yeah, if you haven't bought it in GT Online, it will be available at Halloween. They normally make it available to purchase again, so... Great car. Not quick for its class, but when you've got a full field of racing around in these, it's incredible. Ardent, of course. I do really like the Ardent. It handles so well as well. It's the biggest shame of GTA that it can't be used in races. It can now be used in races stock, but not custom, which is an even bigger shame. They actually did fix it, but only partially, not enough. This would definitely... Well, would it be in my top 10? Again, same as the trophy truck Frankensteiner area, if there's space. This is like a just off the top 10 group, and then we'll see. Maybe someone can like keep track of what I'm saying, whether either in the comments of the YouTube video or something, and keep track of what I'm saying, and maybe it'll help me actually finalize a list, if that's a top 5 car group or a top 10 car group or a just off the top 10 car group. I can see what I said and then actually come up with a list at the end. Alright, the Premier. Now this wouldn't be in my even close to my top 10, honestly. The reason I've included it is because there was recently a question on one of the streams, basically, oh, that was close. Basically saying, the question was, what's your favourite front wheel drive car to drive? And this is it. The Premier is so nice to drive for a front wheel drive car. I remember we did a British touring car championship race event back in like, I don't know, 2015 or something, on a couple of short tracks, and we had like ACers and Premiers going at it together. I once won a multi-class endurance championship race in the Premier in season 1. I think I put the Club as a close second for front wheel drive cars, but yeah, the Premier is just really nice. Slam van, here we go. This is definitely a top 10 car. I've got one behind me as well. I'm scared on the brakes. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Worst brakes in the game, no doubt, for the speed of the car. Oh. Oh, well, great. That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? I've done all the hard work. Everyone always forgets how bad the Slam van's brakes are. Should that be a call out? I don't know, it doesn't matter at this point, it was just a little hit. Everyone always forgets how bad the Slam van's brakes are, and they come up with like other cars. Well, what about this car's brakes? What about this car's brakes? They're bad. And it's like, nah. Nothing's as bad as this. But we've had some incredible races in the Slam van, especially in the snow. Just, it requires so much skill to get around, and you know, with the huge braking distances and decent top speed with no traction really in the corners. See, I've even messed it up there. You got to brake so early. Is that going to be our slowest lap? I think that might be the slowest lap. We're halfway through. Stinger GT. I think this used to be my favourite car. I think in that 2015 video of my top 5, the Stinger GT was #1. If I remember correctly. I mean, it was a long time ago. I think it's still got to go in the top 5. It's not, you know, the Omnis has surpassed it. But I think it's still in my top 5. It sounds great as well. It handles beautifully. It's a challenge. Incredible car. My enjoyment of the Monroe has kind of increased since then, but I still don't think I would put the Monroe ahead of the Stinger. Maybe they're about level now in terms of my enjoyment of each car. Because the Monroe's great. But incredible car. Looks great in the Ron livery as well. It might even not be, it might be a knockoff Ron livery actually. You did have Stinger GT first, yeah, I thought so. Ooh. Bruff Car Sabre. So this is obviously a Project Homecoming specific. So fast in a straight line. It's meant for oval racing. So it's got high top speed, not much grip. The Hot Ring, which is obviously the GTA version, the Hot Ring Sabre, I wouldn't include it anywhere near my top 10. But this Project Homecoming specific version with the crazy top end, the S2, I've had some really fun oval races on Project Homecoming with this. It's just a really nice car. And I don't know why it ended up being named the way that it got named. I think they did a event, and instead of calling it NASCAR, they called it Bruff Car in Nodo back in the day, and then it's kind of stuck. So, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. Bruff Car was Nodo's Oval Series. Yeah, I thought so. Alright, let's get some speed for the next lap. Adder! This is definitely in my top 10. The Adder has gone so high in my estimations that it might even be in my top 5 actually. This would be on the top 5 short list at least. The Torero XO is basically like a quicker version of the Adder. But yeah, the fastest car in the game. We're in it. But I would also say that there's still something about the Adder that is just really nice. So I don't know whether I'd put the Torero quite ahead of the Adder yet. It might be close between the two. They're very similar. They're on par in my mind. But the Adder is fantastic. We mocked it for all those years when it came to, like, you know, it was the car that everybody wanted at the start because it was the most expensive and people would put chrome paint and dollar rims and stuff. It was... People used the Adder in supercar races when the Entity was actually the quickest. It was just a sign that you didn't have a clue what you were doing. But as time's gone on and cars have gotten more and more grippy, the lack of grip of the Adder and the speed that it has just taken over. And it's just a great car to race with. Coquette 4 Bus, this is a very specific Project Homecoming car that I've always liked. There isn't a similar one that I can compare it to on vanilla GTA. This is just a great mod car. I think I might, yeah, someone in the chat I've just noticed said a tier list for my favourite cars. That might be more realistic to go for, honestly. I might be able to come up with a tier list of my favourite cars rather than a specific ranking. Omnis is S tier, and then we'll see if there's, like, what would be in the A tier, the B tier, stuff like that. Might be easier to do. I tell you what I'll do, I'll leave a comment when this goes up as a YouTube video. Oh, the Massacro. Oh, the Massacro. Definitely top 10. I don't know whether it would quite sneak into the top 5 these days, but definite, easy top 10. Still an incredible car. One of the first DLC cars to be added. The first DLC sports car, right? If I remember right. But yeah, what I'll do when this turns into a YouTube video, if assuming, and I think there's been people in the chat doing this as well, assuming people have noted down what I've been saying about each car, I'll leave a pinned comment on the YouTube video with like a tier list that I've worked out of my favourite cars after this video has happened and after I've seen the things that I've been saying about the cars. And I'll include any future, like if I've forgotten a car or something. I won't go too crazy with it, but it can serve as future reference, I suppose. For if anyone asks in future what my favourite cars are, I can say watch this video to see them, and then check the pinned comment for, you know, an actual list in the cold light of day when I've been able to think about it and not being in the middle of a race just trying to talk about them. Italy GTB. This used to be my third favourite. Certainly my favourite. Oh no, it used to be my favourite supercar. It just handles beautifully. It handles. It just does what I want a supercar to do in terms of the way that it handles. Unknown label with a full transcript from the stream. Okay, you're keeping track. Perfect. I love the way the Italy GTB drives. It's just, it does exactly what I want it to do. Beautiful balance for me personally. I don't know whether I would put it ahead, like the Adder and the Torero XO have really gone up in my estimation. So this used to be third behind the Pisswasser Dominator and the Omnis for a long time. But I don't know quite what I would do. I'd have to think about it hard with the Adder and the Torero. The Dune. The Dune's a top 10. I don't think it's a top 5. Maybe it would sneak into the top 5. I don't think so though. It's a great car. It's a great vehicle. It's a lot of fun. We've had some incredible moments in it. The majestic Dune. Some incredible races. It's fun to drive. It always provides incredible experiences. As far as like favourite cars go, you know, I think there's others that I would put ahead of it, but it has to at least be top 10, surely. I do have a Lego Dune. You can see them in the bottom right of, bottom left of my screen on the bookshelf. I've got a Lego Omnis, a Lego Pisswasser Dominator, and a Lego Dune now. I'll show them at the end of the race. Custom made Lego builds. Thanks again to Minia for making those things possible. And my Lego Dune looks exactly like this, except the 1322 on the side. No, the Frankensteiner isn't just for the engine noise, the Frankensteiner is for the way that it drives as well. But it's mostly about the way that they drive, honestly. My top cars are always the ones that I enjoy driving the most, and I think drive well. My favourite cars, or my top 5 my favourite cars, they're never going to be a car that is, you know, just there for engine noise or because it looks good. It has to drive well to even be on the list. And my favourite cars are the ones that I think drive the best. Huntley S. Incredible SUV. Still my favourite SUV. Definitely top 10 car. I am defending this position to this Ardent because we're getting to the late stages of the race. I might as well defend my position. We're getting to that point where those who haven't had the slow cars yet still might get them. There might be positions up for grabs. He's going to have it now, but that's alright. I've delayed him enough in a quicker car. It all comes around towards the end of the race. I wonder how many cars I've said are in my top 10. Because included in the top 10 are all the ones I've said are in my top 5 as well. The Rapid GTE. A second Rapid GT. This is kind of like an example for all the GT cars, honestly, on Project Homecoming. You know, there's the FMJ, GTE. A lot of the GT cars on Project Homecoming are just incredible creations and machines. But the Rapid GTE, I think, is my favourite, with the Ron livery, just the way that it handles, the fact that I just like the way that it drives. But again, I wouldn't put the regular Rapid GT anywhere close to my top 10 on vanilla GTA. Looks like we're in the shout for a top 10. I don't know whether a top 5 is going to be possible. 3 laps to go. 5th place is just going around the last corner now, though, actually. Beautiful car. The Monroe Custom. This can be an example of the regular Monroe. The regular Monroe is probably in my top 10, I think. Another one to add to the list. But the Monroe Custom is even better. It's just incredible on Project Homecoming. Past the Huntley for 7th. The reason I like the regular Monroe is because the lack of brakes and the speed that it has, and it handles really nicely again. The Monroe Custom definitely has like a lot more grip, but it's just like the Monroe turned up to 11, really. Still beautiful to drive. Alright, 2 more cars to go. One of them's going to be a Forza that's a bit special, and it's going to be the last lap. So the Banshee. The Banshee, I think I'm going to put... The HSW Banshee I really like. The HSW has put it up in my estimations. I think I'll put it in that group with the trophy truck. Kind of like a just off the top 10, would get in the top 10 if I've got space for it. The HSW might give it that top 10 position. Got an Itali GTB that I'm going to have to defend against. 5th place is just up the road. I know that my last car is going to be a Forza. Depends what's in front of me. Oh no, the Itali GTB is in front of me. I've got a Massacro behind me. he's got it. Much more pace in the Masacro. Hanging out around the outside with the good grip of the Banshee though. Masacro's quicker in a straight line. Here it is, the handbrake boost Feltzer. Alright, I need to be careful. This does act as a you know, the Project Homecoming version of the regular Feltzer, I would say, in my top 10 list. I would probably put it same as the Banshee, just off the top 10. I've really come to, it's similar with the Adder. I didn't really appreciate the Feltzer early on, and I've come to really like it. Oh, I'm stuck behind this back marker. I need to get ahead, really, in the same car as me. The top 5 is just round the corner. Oh, top 5 might be possible. We always say top 5's always possible. Just got to pass the Frankensteiner in the race that's all about my favourite cars on my track on the last corner. And boost across the line. Top 5's always possible. Do you know what? That's really nice. I actually had a good random select race for a change, and we were going for a position right at the end as all the cars changed. That's what I've wanted on a random select race for so long, and I just haven't had it. Thanks for all the GGs. Top 5's always possible. That was good. I really that was so enjoyable. I enjoyed talking about all my favorite cars. I enjoyed having a good race, and it had a great ending as well. That was a great race. That was so much fun. Oh yeah, I'll show the Lego cars. But what were the? Still 38 seconds off the lead. I ended up only finishing a sec. I should have made Gyobu wait for me after that Slam Van June coming together. Might have finished ahead of him at the end. But I mean, when you look at, you know, those guys finishing in the top 3, some super quick guys. Same with Gio, so I'm happy with a 5th on that to finish behind all them. First up, the June. That was the second one that we made. Beautiful machine. Then the most recent addition, which is the Pisswasser Dominator. The 41 really adds to this one. Like trying to get the livery in. We made that during the stream week, during this week. But the first one we made was the Omnis. In my colours that I have my Omnis on Vanilla GTA. That was last year's stream week that we made this. Beautiful. So yeah, cool. That was fun. That was really fun.